young boy going to church for the first time, and my mum walks in the church, she gets instantly healed, and she instantly starts speaking in tongues.
You don't have the peace within.
Yeah.
Maybe taking a step back.
100%. I just think we live in a world, Nehemiah, where people just want to do.
Yeah.
But, you know, one of the disciplines of spirituality is standing still.
Everybody, I'm so excited to bring you this podcast, and I have a very special guest in today's episode. We have Pastor Keeth Bandara all the way from Watford, London. Is it in London though?
Some people say it's London, some people say it's Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
I think I would say Hertfordshire.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm excited to be here in the podcast. I've heard a lot about you, Nehemiah. You're doing some fantastic work, but it's great to do this podcast with you.
We've been following each other on Instagram for a bit.
Yeah, for a bit. And then I found out you guys were coming over with mum and dad and doing some stuff around the country. So I thought this is a good opportunity to connect with you guys, you know?
Yeah. So Keith, Pastor Keith is a new friend of mine. We met for coffee the other day. We had an interesting conversation. He's the lead pastor of City of Lights Church.
Yeah.
And doing amazing ministry in the UK and recently in Africa and many parts of the world. So I believe that today's conversation is going to be amazing. We're going to pick up a lot of things from my recent conversation with you. I heard of how you came to faith and how you pioneered this amazing ministry.
Yeah.
And so I want to pick your brains a little on that.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have a good time.
Yeah, go for it. Nothing's off the table.
Yeah. So maybe first, if you can just introduce yourself, your family, and the church here, what you guys do here.
Yeah. So I'm originally from Sri Lanka. I was born in Sri Lanka in 1984 in Jaffna. My mum is Tamil and my dad is Sinhalese. So we have the both cultures coming together.
Beautiful.
I can speak both Tamil and Sinhalese.
That's a flex.
So with my dad, I'll speak Sinhalese at home. With my mum, I'll speak Tamil. And so in 1992, when it was the height of the Civil War, we immigrated to the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Didn't know a word of English, and just grew up here. My mum was a Hindu. My dad was a Buddhist. But my mum was sick. The doctors didn't know what was wrong with her. And so in her desperation, she went to every religion that we can find to find relief for her pain in her body. So that took her to India, Chennai, where my auntie was living.
Oh, wow.
And she was a believer. And I remember as a young boy going to church for the first time, and my mum walks in the church, she gets instantly healed.
Wow.
And she instantly starts speaking in tongues.
That's crazy.
And in a few days she gets baptized. And then we come back to Sri Lanka.
Okay, so all this is in Chennai.
All this happened in Chennai.
So that's your Indian connection.
That's my Indian connection, but actually my auntie lives in India, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my Indian connection.
So you got a spiritual connection with...
Yeah, exactly. And now I'm connected to you.
Oh, amazing.
And a few others. But then we came back to Sri Lanka. My mum obviously then followed Christianity. We got converted. My dad was still a Buddhist. And then in 92 we came over to the UK. And I am here now for the past over 25 years. I'm married. I've got 3 beautiful children. Makai, Ruel and Itana. They're 15, 13 and 10.
Shout out to them. Some of them are upstairs, very quiet, so we can do this podcast.
Yeah. So
and I'm borrowing his shoe
boxes to hold up the camera. But and I'm married to my beautiful wife, Nick. We've been now married for 18 years.
Wow.
18 years. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Beautiful family. I see pictures all around me.
Yeah.
Beautiful family. And thanks for having me in your house.
No, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
this is
at home.
a very spontaneous plan, but I'm glad we're doing it.
Yeah, spontaneous is usually better than planned,
I know, right?
So I'm happy with it. But thank you for coming and being part of, and actually bringing something of the anointing to the UK. You know, I've heard a lot about you, and even sitting down with you in the coffee shop, the amazing things that you're doing, Gen Z youth work, which is crazy, and the work that you're doing in Kerala and your parents. You know, we instantly connected because of your pioneering heart as well. You know, and so I thank you, and it's a privilege for me to do this with you.
Thanks for that, bro.
I mean, you should be doing me. It's like I'm having a podcast with you.
Oh, appreciate it, bro. All right, so I'm excited. I'm going to ask you a few questions. And then we're going to go from there. We're going to flow with it.
Yeah.
Right, so from my conversation with you, something that I really picked on and I really loved is your heart to start things, your heart to pioneer things.
Yeah.
Right? Pioneering something out here, you know, this is very different from where you grew up, you know, in your initial childhood, right? Yeah. And then, you know, you're picking up a language, learning a new culture, and then going there and impacting culture, and going there and planting something. It takes something. I believe it is God's Holy Spirit, but at the same time, it takes something from you as well. Right? Yeah. So talk to me about that. Why did you choose to plant something, and what made you plant something? What made you step into ministry and do this? Yeah, so I gave my life to God at the age of, I think my first encounter that I can remember, I always say I've had about 3 major encounters in my life. Like, I'll call them Bethel moments. It changes like your trajectory. Like Jacob? Like Jacob, you know, I call them Bethel moment, because at those points you build certain altars that determines your direction. That's good. So one of them was at the age of 13, 14. I was at a meeting with my youth. I went with my youth leaders, and I don't know whether you know him. His name is Tommy Tenney, a great minister of the gospel. He's still alive. He wrote the book called God Chasers. And it was quite big back then when I was growing up. But he preached a message on, and I still remember it, rising up like eagles, how God calls us to be eagles. And I remember in that service is when God marked me into ministry. And I decided there and then that God was calling me into ministry, and I gave my life to God. Prior to that, I actually wanted to be a pilot. So there was a battle inside me whether to go into ministry or whether to pursue being a pilot. Because I wanted the money, I want the house, I want the fame, you know, the status. But then if I was going into ministry, my idea of ministry was, you're not going to have a house, you're not going to have the car that you want, or, you know, money might be an issue. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of sacrifice. So there was always this fear. But when I was about to go to aviation school, there was this sense of no peace. So what ended up happening was I stopped applying and took a year away from education and just focused on what God wanted me to do. And then the year after, I went to Bible college. Can I pause there? Yeah. Because I did the same, right? Yeah. I took a gap year, maybe not a whole year, but then at least like 7-8 months after my year 12. Yeah. Right. Because in India, there's no year 13. No. Right? Okay. So after my 12th, I took a break. People wanted me to just go into the next college and things, but I knew there was something different for me. Yeah. Right. So, but I needed to find out. So I really think taking a step back is so important. 100%. And if there are people listening to us and you're confused about things, and you want to do certain thing, but you don't have the peace within, maybe taking a step back. 100%. I just think we live in a world, Nehemiah, where people just want to do. Yeah. But, one of the disciplines of spirituality is standing still. And, sometimes growing up in a Pentecostal background, you hardly stand still. Yeah.
you know, you always want to be doing, or you always want to be laying hands, or you always want to be doing ministry. And especially growing up in an Asian culture and seeing Asian leaders here in the UK, you know, the idea of stepping back from ministry to see what the next step is unheard of.
Even in ministry, it's just go,
Go, you know. But I think there's a beauty in just stepping back and standing still, because if you don't know what to do, the best thing is don't do anything until God says.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, you probably end up doing more damage by doing something because you had to undo certain things if it's not the way that God planned it to be, you know.
Sometimes the trauma that we get after doing something that God told us not to do, or we didn't have the peace and we still end up doing it, the trauma that we have to recover after that.
Yeah, but even in that trauma, Nehemiah, I don't know if you've ever been in that place, we end up saying, God, why? But actually, it was never God. It was our choice. We engaged in that behavior or went our way because we didn't want to stand still.
I think God gets credit for a lot of closed doors that, in the first place, you know, it wasn't Him, right?
Sometimes we've got to take responsibility. You know, as I'm getting older and, you know, I think I've been in ministry, I was trying to work out last couple of weeks ago, at least 20 years. You know, I became a youth pastor at the age of 17, a youth leader. So I'm now 40. I realized, so I realized now that there's a beauty in standing still. You know, trying to listen to that still small voice, and I needed that. And so then I went to Bible college to learn theology. My mum didn't want me to go, although she was a believer.
I wanted to ask you that.
Yeah.
So, being Asian parents, what was their response to you saying no to your dream of being a pilot?
Do a proper degree.
Okay.
You know, go and do another degree, and then do theology, you know. So that's what they wanted me to do. But my logic was, why would I waste time in doing another degree right now? Why don't I just go do this, and if later on I need to do another study, then I would do another study. So that's what I did. I just went. You know, sometimes I think, and I get this question a lot, honor doesn't always mean obedience the way that we think honoring our parents is. So sometimes we think honoring parents is always obeying them.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So
it's in the Lord as well.
It's in the Lord, you know, and sometimes, as much as our parents want us to do certain things, there are some things the Lord will override, you know. But honoring our parents is in honoring God first.
That's beautifully said.
And when we honor God first, your parents will then see the plan of God in your life that they didn't see, you know.
That's amazing.
And so I always say, listen, parents, you need to listen to parents, you need to listen to what they say. But sometimes they don't always get it right. They're human themselves. But we have to deal with it respectfully, but honoring God. With the view that they will see what God is doing in your life, if you get what I'm saying. I don't want to confuse you.
No, I totally get what I'm saying. Because I work among youth and teens, right?
Yeah.
And something that I have seen is parents love, and my friend told me this, Pastor Joshua, you would know him.
Yeah.
So he told me this, parents love their kids to come up in the Lord and in faith and in ministry to their level. To their level, yeah. And maybe once they go to church more than what they want now, and once they start serving more than, it becomes a problem. Yeah, it becomes a problem. Now they go back to the youth pastor and when I gave them my kids to you, they were, out in the world. They were doing all sorts of things, and you changed them. But then now they're too much in church. Yeah, yeah. We get that all the time. But one thing, Nehemiah, is that it's important that we realize actually spirituality is only a small part in the church.
majority of it is outside the church, you know. So parents are also responsible for that. So I don't know why I'm
100%.
saying that, but like
100%.
it just needs to be balanced, you know.
100%.
But at the same time, there's this cultural, traditional norm that's been placed on Asian children that there's a battle between, oh, why are you spending so much time in the church, and why you should be at home, or you should study, or but then God is calling you. You know, this kind of dichotomy doesn't happen in the Western culture, you know. So I think the battle that Asians have is different to what we face as Western, you know, white counterparts, you know. But it's something we have to learn. And I think the new generation is more aware of it than my generation, you know.
Yeah.
So
It's like you had to bear a lot of things so that your kids can be, you know.
100%. So like a lot of the stuff I did. So for example, me marrying a white girl, that's unheard of, or that's a very difficult thing to do when I did it, right?
Yeah.
But that would have broken so many barriers, even within my ministry, you know, at City of Life Church. We're, you know, a multicultural, multi-age, family-focused church, you know, and I think that's because we've broken certain barriers when it comes to, even in my family, you know, being married within different cultures. I think God uses that to bring people, you know, some people, you know, my Asian leaders will say, Keith, how do you get all of these different people to be in your church and you're a Sri Lankan? In the UK. I said, I don't know, it's just a grace that God has placed in my life. Like, how do you get, you know, Africans and Caribbeans and Italians and, you know, white Caucasians and, you know, different parts of the world? How do you get them in the church? I don't know. Maybe that's part of being a pioneer, is breaking barriers and breaking ground. In the UK, as an Asian, to have such a multicultural church is a big thing in itself, you know.
I believe when culture comes together and when the barriers of culture is broken, the kingdom of God advances.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, Jesus going to that Samaritan city and meeting the Samaritan woman, breaking the barrier of culture, breaking the barrier of gender, because at that time of the day, no one speaks to a woman.
No.
Breaking the barrier of, like, you know, you're a sinner and, you know, I'm a prophet or whatever, right? Breaking that barrier. It's breaking so many barriers with just one conversation.
100%.
Right? So I believe Jesus was a barrier breaker at all levels.
Yeah.
Right? And so when we do that, I believe his kingdom advances.
Yeah.
So amazing.
And that's what I want to happen here in Watford. And so, so that's why we have City of Lights, which we planted 10 years ago.
Wow.
You know, me and my wife, we started in the house. Okay. It slowly grew. And then we obviously then went on to a Sunday service. And now we're 10 years in. We're 10 years in, so.
That's amazing. So 10 years of ministry. 10 years of serving God. What do you think is the most challenging thing for you right now? Because through this podcast, I not just talk about the highlight reels and just the, you know, you're amazing and this is what I do and things like that. But if you can share a little bit of your challenges and how God's been giving you the grace, or how you've been processing it in this season, I think that'll be amazing for the people watching.
Yeah, so right now, when there is growth, there's pain.
100%.
And as a ministry, as a church, even as me as an individual and a family, you know, church is growing, family is growing, demands of a growing family grows. And so the challenges for me has always been balancing the growth of the family. I think we talked about when we met for a coffee, like how I want to protect my children from the pastor's kids kind of vibe, you know. I think one of the greatest challenges right now for me is preparing the church and the family for the growth that God's actually bringing to our church right now.
Okay.
I think that's one of my things that's is pressing heavily. And, you know, it's taken 10 years, but now I realize sometimes growth is not just about praying. Growth is not just about reading the Bible, fasting and praying. Is that sometimes when there is growth, there's a stretching.
Yeah.
But when the stretching comes, you have to learn to put the right structure in place to handle the stretch.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And that's not always easy, because with that comes mental kind of issues. When I say mental issues, I'm not mentally ill. What I'm saying is the battle that you have within.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. It's mind battles. It's mind battles.
It's mind battles. But then when there's growth, people struggle.
Yeah.
Some people will have to go by the wayside. Some people will have to go by the might not like it. Some people might say this is not for me.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with that kind of dichotomy as well. So my challenge right now, bro, is seeing how God wants us to structure ourselves so that we can handle the growth, you know. There's always been challenges, you know. I want to be honest with you. There were times when I actually wanted to stop.
Okay.
COVID was a big one for me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, COVID was a big one because COVID came maybe 3 years into our start. But we weren't prepared for COVID, bro. We just started the church. We didn't have cameras. We didn't have, you know, the setup to do it online. And plus, we didn't have our own church. So we were hiring a place. So what happened was we couldn't go back to a gathering for 3 years. So we did everything online. Before COVID, we were starting to break the 100 barrier.
Okay.
You know, which is significant when you're planting.
Yeah.
Because when you're planting, what happens that there's this barriers you face. At 50, you face a barrier. As soon as you break the 60 mark, then you go to 100, then you got to break that 100 barrier. And we were hitting that barrier, and all of a sudden, everything was shut down. So after 3 years, we go back to the building. First service, we have about 60 people. I said, okay, majority came back. Second service, next Sunday, we had 40 people. I said, okay, where is everybody? Third week, we were down to maybe 20.
Wow.
Fourth week, we were down to maybe 10.
What has been happening?
COVID just...
The fear?
Yeah, like obviously COVID brought in a lot of fear. They didn't want to, they got lazy gathering. Gatherings got a bit lazy. People thought they can just be online and do their service. So there was a point where there was probably 8 people, and I'm preaching to 8 people. For me, that's not a church. That's a house group. That's how we first started. So I turned around because there were other churches that were calling me to say, can you come and take over the church or pastor a church? But God never gave me that desire to take a church over. So I always said, now is not the right time, maybe a bit later. And so me and my wife, Nick, I had a conversation with her. I said, darling, I think maybe let's shut it. Like these 8 people can go to different churches. They're like good churches around the local area. I remember having this conversation upstairs in the bedroom. But while I was having this conversation, I just heard a voice within me, in my spirit, give it 1 more year.
Okay.
So then I said to my wife, while we're having this conversation, I remember this, I said, okay, listen, let's give this 1 more year. If it doesn't work, we'll move away from this and go and do what other people are calling us to do. And, you know, we can pick up a church, people will give us a building.
Yeah.
And Nehemiah, within a year...
That's amazing.
Everything changed.
I mean, and probably it grew larger than you've grown before, right?
Yeah.
So, just focusing on that, what you just said.
Yeah.
There are many people who give up on the verge of that breakthrough, on the verge of like breaking that barrier, on the verge of at the threshold of the promise.
Yeah.
You know, many Israelites fell dead at the border of the promised land. Right?
Yeah.
They saw the promised land. They just couldn't get in.
No.
Right. So, how many people stop one short of like
Yeah.
their biggest breakthrough in life.
100%, yeah.
And that inner voice of the Holy Spirit saying, just give it one more year, is so precious.
Yeah. I remember it, and it was while I was, like I'm speaking to you right now, there was another voice coming from a different dimension saying, just give it one more year. So I'm talking to you, but I can hear another voice telling me, just give it one more year.
That's powerful.
You know, so you miss those moments if you're not careful, you know?
Yeah.
But I was bivocational.
Okay.
So I wasn't in full-time ministry, but by the grace of God, because of how it's grown, I'm now in full-time ministry for the past nearly coming to a year now.
That takes another level of faith, I would say.
Yeah.
Being a pioneer and then being a full-time pastor in that church, right?
Yeah.
It's not a church that's already been set up where you just on staff.
From ground, bang.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me about that, right? Because it's different being a full-time minister in India or in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Right. Than compared to like being here.
Yeah.
Tell me how it is.
So we're living by faith.
Yeah.
Even now, Nehemiah, because I had a good job. I was a teacher, business and finance.
Wow.
Teaching business and finance and social development for older kids. And I'll be honest with you, I've been battling with going full-time into ministry for probably about a year. You got 3 kids. You know, I think if I didn't have kids, it would have been easier to do. But because I had the kids, I was thinking about my children. And of course, Lord's going to take care of it. But prices are UK. You know how expensive UK is. The prices are going up. All sorts are happening. You know, my son, my number 2 boy, he got a scholarship into a private school, and so there's like a little amount that we need to pay a month. But I was able to do that when I had my job. It was good money. So now I dropped everything and I've got to rely on church, but it's not the same as what I used to get, understandably. But I just said to God, I'm just going to trust you.
Yeah.
And so for the last year, me and Nick had just been living by faith, and randomly people will bless us here and there.
Yeah.
But, even the other day I said to Nick, look, darling, like, things will change.
Yeah.
It will 100%. It will turn around. We just need to ride this wave. So we bless God for what he's doing, and I've got to take the jump. If I'm telling and preaching to people about living by faith or faith, and I'm struggling. So I had to lead by example. So
I have a teaching for our youth. I call it all in or nothing.
Yeah.
It's from the story of Elijah.
Yeah.
Where Elijah, he gets on top of the mountain and invites everybody, and he's going to have this amazing show of faith.
Yeah.
Right. And then he's praying for fire, but then you pour water onto the altar.
Yeah.
And it's drought season. There's no water.
No.
Right. And so you pour water into the altar, and you're putting all your, faith into, okay, there's absolutely no chance for a human fire to come here.
Yeah.
Right. Because if it is me, I would have had a small lighter in my pocket. When no one's looking, right?
Yeah.
But you gotta the whole country is watching, the king is watching, the queen is watching, everyone's watching. They want to kill you.
Yeah.
Right. And so now you're calling on fire, but then you're pouring water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing something counter. How do we say it?
Like counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Something that no one's expecting, and then you do that. Because people say don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? But with God, if God has told you something, you put all your eggs in that basket.
In that basket, yeah.
Right, because you put all your stocks into that,
into
right?
that stock, yeah.
Yeah, so so that was a teaching where if God's called you for something, you might as well go all in or nothing.
Yeah, bro, but since I went all in, church is there's been an explosion. And I don't think that would have happened if I didn't give up my job and go full-time into ministry, so I can focus on
I respect both kinds of people.
Yeah.
But then there is a level of faith for this as well.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I commend everybody who's done this, because even now, as much as people will say Pastor Keith, Apostle Keith, Prophet Keith, Teacher Keith, as much as they use titles, as much as they use man of God or whatever, I'm still a human who's living in the UK, got kids, and there's always this fear in the back of your head. I want my kids, make sure my kids are okay, make sure there's constantly that battle is inside, but she's got to trust God, Nehemiah. There's nothing else to it, But trusting God doesn't always mean there isn't always a certain niggling voice telling you, oh, go back to work or go, But I think that's where in God's timing, everything will kind of work out,
It's. I think it's about navigating it and holding that tension.
Yeah.
We're going to hear voices.
Yeah. It's a tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think much of Christianity is thriving in that tension. We have voices from the world. We have, if you look back, the world's fleeting and you could have been a pilot and, I hear those voices again. I had so many opportunities which I did not have the peace about it to go for it.
Yeah.
Right. And then once you're in it and you're thinking, right.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy because my wife had a car. I had a car. My car broke down. Right. I can't afford to get another car now. Whereas before, I could have just gone and got another car. So I'm saying to God, look where I am. So right now I don't have a car, but a friend of mine had a spare car. He said, hey, why don't you borrow my car until you can get another car? That's a provision of God. I'm not paying for a car, but somebody said, okay, have this car for a moment. And then when I do get a car, I can give that car back. These kind of things, because I've only been in it for a year, there's that kind of I think people need to understand leaders are also people.
I mean, if you have small kids, diapers are not going to be paid for itself, right?
No.
So
diapers are not going to be paid for itself. They want clothes, they want the latest things.
Yeah.
You know how it is, bro, growing up in a pioneer's home and in the early days how it was.
Because what I saw was in the beginning it was tough and I don't remember a lot of things.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, it was extremely tough.
Yeah.
And I was telling you some of the stories.
Yeah.
But if you stick with it, if you stick with God, there's going to be a great blessing. And we believe in a God that blesses us.
100%, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because people talk about the prosperity gospel and things like that. But, and my friend was saying, if you have 3 to 5 kids, you got to better believe in the prosperity gospel.
100%. Yeah, God is not a God of poverty.
Of course.
I think God is, if you're going to be with God, you're always going to be prosperous. But people think prosperity is monetary and materialistic. Paul says it like this. Paul says content.
That's beautiful.
And
exactly.
And that's what prosperity is.
And Philippians 4:19 is about content.
Contentment, yeah.
It's not about, I can do all things through Christ. It's not like I can, do anything that I want.
No.
It's about, I can,
with a lot of money, I'm good.
I can
with
rock
no
with them
money,
people.
Yeah.
And I can also be here, right?
Yeah.
I can do all things.
And I think that's prosperity.
Exactly.
That is, for me, what prosperity is. Whether in much or whether in little, you're content. And that's the language of prosperity.
Yeah.
And I guess we all have to do this. So, but, we are here now and God's been good. So we'll see where God's taking us in the next 10 years,
Amazing. I'm coming to the tail end of the conversation.
Yeah.
What plans for the future? Any plans to come over to the subcontinent, come over to India, Sri Lanka, and what plans for the future? Would love to know.
Yeah, for some reason, I've been reconnecting with the subcontinent, Southeast Asia. Obviously, I'm from Sri Lanka. I'll be flying over to Sri Lanka soon, but focus of ministry.
Yeah.
But I do feel the Lord will open doors because I know, part of me being a pilot, wanting to be a pilot, one of the things the God spoke to me about is that I'll be in different places, So for the future, what I want to do is continue to grow City of Lights and begin to pioneer in other places. Even now, I just get a little bit itchy. I think when you like planting, you like the buzz of it, you like the adventure of it.
Yeah.
Once things get settled, there's always going to be, building more. But now I'm so focused on building people.
Yeah.
So when we build people, we can start building other people. So right now, for me, it's about building. I want to next year kind of make a trip to obviously go back to Sri Lanka, India and places like that. So that's my plan. But many of the plans of a man's heart, but the Lord directs his steps, right? So I've got all of these things that I want to do, but I'll just wait on God and see where he wants to go. But in the meantime, what I really love doing is just building young leaders. I do a thing called the Forge Network.
Yeah.
Where we have about 50 to 60 people, and they're just young leaders from around Europe. We meet once every 2 weeks, and I just mentor them. We teach, we activate, and I just spend a lot more time now teaching and raising leaders and young leaders. So
amazing.
That's my plan going forward.
That's amazing. All right, so how can people get in touch with you or the church if they are in the UK?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, Keeth Bandara, or check out City of Lights Church online and DM, and somebody will be in touch with you.
Amazing.
We'll just type in Keeth Bandara on Google and the information will come up.
Amazing.
So
this has been an amazing conversation. If you enjoyed this conversation, I want you to leave a comment in whichever platform that you're watching us from. Thanks for joining us for this conversation. I hope this blesses you. Thanks for joining me on this conversation on this podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was such a spontaneous plan, but I'm glad you said yes.
Yeah, I'm glad.
But we should do this more.
100%. I enjoyed the conversation. I reckon we could have carried on.
Yeah.
But we've both got places to be at right now. So.
Of course. And maybe take this as an invite to come over to our church back in India.
100%, bro.
We'd
I'll
love to have
definitely
you.
take that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
Bless you.
Take care, everybody. I hope to come back with another conversation in the coming months. So thanks. God bless.
See you soon.